Welcome to B-Rated, B-Rated Conversations. Join us as we talk to the creative people behind the independent movies and get the behind-the-scenes stories. All right, well, thank you guys for being here, or thank you for being here. We're with Maria Taylor and Marcus Massey from Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and I love the bunny, the Killer Thing shirt.
I thought this is the tradition now.
Yeah. Well,
thank you so much for having us.
Oh, no problem. Go ahead and just introduce yourselves and who you are in the movie.
Yeah, so I'm Maria Taylor, and I play the role of Maria, who is probably, I would say, the protagonist in the film. So you kind of follow her storyline. She's quite a sweet girl. She's been through a lot, and she gets put through a lot more as well.
All right.
Yes. She doesn't need it, does she?
No.
It's more on her plate.
Yeah. What about you, Marcus?
And I am playing Colt. I'm one of the mad hillbillies who just turns up and takes on Pooh. And that's it. I mean, no spoilers, but
I was going to say no spoilers.
no, exactly. So yes, we give him a good old, yeah. Well, what happens? Well, you have to see, won't you?
Oh yeah,
it's right. Yes. So Maria, why not give a rundown of the story? You know, like the trailer, just so then people know.
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, it's based on Winnie the Pooh. So you've got your beloved characters in there that are pretty twisted, very different than the characters, you know, from Disney. You have Winnie the Pooh, you have Piglet, and of course, you've got Christopher Robin. The premise of the story is that Christopher Robin has grown up. He's become a man now. He's looking at getting married. And he's always had them in the back of his head because he's not seen them in years since he was a child. So he tells his future wife, I need you to meet them because I love them. I had an amazing relationship with them as a child and they're real. And she was like, okay, I'll go along with it. I'll come with you. So basically they go out looking for these creatures, assuming they're going to be still nice and sweet as they were when he was a child. But let's just say things have changed and they've gone back to their animalistic ways. And that's kind of the premise of the story. But then you have a separate storyline going on at the same time, which my character's in, where Maria, which is of course the same name I have, which is crazy because that was not planned. A lot of people just assume that maybe I got the role before it was named, but no, like it was already. The name was already Maria and then I was cast afterwards. But yeah, she's got a bit of a different storyline going on where she's been dealing with having, without giving too many spoilers, she has a stalker who, hasn't been leaving her alone, kind of like how stalkers are. And she's going through a lot and her therapist says she needs to get away. She needs to be with her friends. Just like you get in all horror films, they of course go away. They get in a house in the middle of nowhere and shit hits the fan. Don't mind my language. That's basically the premise of the story, and then they kind of intertwine the storylines.
Oh, that's I like that synopsis, but it's kind of like speaking to it. They're talking about the trauma and the stalking. Like I thought it was really well handled, like in the way that like psychic trauma kind of exists in real life. It wasn't handled in a way that like she's just this traumatized victim that can't do anything like the 80s scream queens, and then all of a sudden she like builds this power and she fights back. It's just like it's a very like logical progression in the way it works.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it could have been, really easily it could have just been, I think it's so easy to make horror characters so one-dimensional. There's not really much, you know, because it's such a fast-paced build-up. You need to get to the character straight away and then you're in and it's drama and it's death. So that you've not got the same build-up that you get in other genres of getting to know the characters. So I think for me, I really, really tried to show different sides of Maria, like the fun side, like she's not just doom and gloom all the time. Hopefully that kind of comes across.
Oh, definitely. Like it feels like, you know, you're when you're in a moment a moment like that, like it's like you have periods where you're feeling better, you have periods where you're not, and like not everything is, you know, like one thing. You're not always depressed, kind of
Exactly.
thing. Like,
yeah. And I think she's definitely trying to put it behind her. It's something she really just wants to forget about. And her friend as well, her friends, like they're so fun loving. She's like, I need to have fun for them because otherwise I'm just this drag that's coming along and just making everyone depressed. So I think that as well. But I think, it was a really fun character to play.
you handled it really well. Like it was a really well put together character. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So you did mention something else, and maybe you guys can both chime in on this one. Like it does feel like you get like a quick build up. You get this. I won't say anything about the beginning, but like you get your like your quick intro, your block of story, and then we're into the chase. Like everything feels like chase. There's a little bit of like story in between, but it's a lot of like stalking and chase, and it just felt like the energy stayed high.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. Marcus, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the why is somebody going to watch this? Why is somebody going to? I mean, originally, this is I think the 114th or 115th film that these guys have made. And wow. So it's in some ways quite amusing to read. Right, look at this debut director, overnight success, and it's overnight, 114 films later. If that's
I've seen
overnight
The Killing
success,
Tree.
then I mean, it's the same with everything, and so that's what it is to be an overnight success. But in all of these films, the audience are not there to be lectured about psychiatry. Really, they're watching it because they want drama, blood, guts, and everything. That's why they're in there. So you might as well get on with it.
Yeah.
I love that thinking.
However, having said that, and this is in the trailer, so there are no spoilers here. The reality is that it is about betrayal. You have to feel sorry for Pooh because Pooh and Piglet have been betrayed. And in the same way, when your first love affair and you're really love, and then it breaks up, and you feel as if your stomach has fallen to the floor, and you just feel sick, and you lose weight, although that didn't happen to Pooh.
No, that didn't.
And all of that happens because it's a hurt, it's a pain. And some people have to lash out about it. So yes, I mean, we know that they've eaten Eeyore because they have that in the trailer. But the thing is that they are justifiably upset.
I mean, justifiably, I'm not so sure. The way they act out is a bit far, but I get what you're saying.
Acting out. Yeah, I'm not saying that what they do is advisable to people who have been upset by things, but I'm talking about feeling upset, the pain, and there is one good, lovely moment in the film which is a flashback to the good old days with the young Christopher Robin, and you see this humanity in Pooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that's one of my favorite parts.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the. Oh yeah, Like that was one of the flashback moments that I really liked. Like it just felt like it's that drop of humanity when you're like right in the middle of I won't say too much about 100 Acre Wood, but you see it and it's like really recognizable, like, oh, that's 100 Acre Wood, but it looks like from like Return to Oz or like Life After People. Like it just looks really desolate, and then you get that drop of humanity and it kind of like lifts everything for a moment.
Definitely.
I don't know whether you've seen it's I think it's Roger Gorman. I can't remember now. I think it's Roger Gorman, or something like it. It's called Excalibur.
I have
Classic.
not seen it.
With it's massive. It's a fantastic film. Yes. Helen Mirren and Nicole Williamson, who they used to be a couple,
Okay,
and then they broke up in a very, very bad way. And then and they're both actors. And then the director said, right, okay, we're going to cast them together in the film. Right. with Nicole Williamson playing Merlin and Helen Mirren playing Morgana.
Okay.
And of course they hate each other in the film, in the script. But because they had this massively passionate love affair and then broke up, and then there was this big problem between them, and then they're playing opposite each other, you can just see the smoke coming out of the way they talk to each other, and of course they're great. And funnily enough, at the end of that, they did actually reconcile because they worked on that film together, and then they sort of came to see each other. So anyway, why am I talking about Excalibur? It wasn't about those two. Actually, I'll show you in a minute. It's because King Arthur. Now, when King Arthur was king, the land was prosperous and it's sunny, and all of this is going on. When it all starts going wrong with Lancelot, etc., all of a sudden, the land, it goes into a famine, and the land turns grey and cold and wet, and there's no leaves on the trees, and it's eternal winter. And that is what is happening in Pooh.
Yeah, I kind of get that. I see that. Yeah, it's
I see that.
yeah, it's a really really well told story. It doesn't take lots of story moments to get the characters across. The other thing I noticed in the movie that was really kind of like just different than a lot of other horror movies that you would see in a theater is the kills are, it's like you see him coming, you see the stalking, and you think you know what's going to happen, and it's like the director's like 2 steps ahead of you, and it's like, okay, what just happened? What am I watching? why are they dying like this? Like, it was a lot of that. It was really good.
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it and you felt like that. I think that's exactly what Reese wanted to get. I think he's a great director to work with. Both Marcus and I worked with him on another film as well, Dinosaur Prison, and that was really fun. And yeah, he's amazing. I think what he wanted to do is kind of come away from the cliches of horror. Obviously, there's certain cliches that have to be there. People need that, want that. But I think a lot of the time he was like, okay, what can I do that people aren't going to expect? And having watched the film, you'll probably know some of them, what we can't say, that maybe you don't expect to happen. But that's exactly what he was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you mentioned the linger before, Marcus, in some of the kills, and I think that was one of the more effective pieces of it.
It's brilliant, and I read a review where somebody was complaining about that, and it's, why are you complaining? This is the point. This is why we've come to watch the film. So, where there's a horrible death, and then we have the death, and the camera just sits there for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's like, what? As the DOP gone to sleep? No, No. The whole we are here to watch it. So at least let's just watch it. Let's just really drink it in before we go to the next bit. We don't want to miss this. We want to see all of it again and again. Yeah. So yeah, brilliant. I mean, why not? What if you're going to do it? Just fully do it.
Oh yeah,
you've got to go all out.
Yes, definitely. There was something else I was going to say now, but I've forgotten what it was.
Take your time. Get your thoughts in.
Why don't I have a notebook with me and I can just... No. Ridiculous. No. Yes, Dinosaur Prison. That is also going to be a cracking film.
I am looking forward to that. Sounds interesting.
We filmed that in a prison. Which you will see because it's obviously a prison, and my favorite bit of that is when we were shooting on the roof of the prison, and it was springtime, and all the seagulls were nesting with their eggs, and then their chicks were coming out. So of course we came out onto the roof of the prison, and the seagulls were having none of it. So you've got these maternally enraged seagulls dive bombing us.
They really were.
Why?
It was so hard to stay in character because every 2 seconds they were swooping on you. And they were massive, weren't they? Huge, like
they were enormous.
And
there was a drone shot for there, and of course they took one look at the drone and said, "Right, we're not having that." so they were dive bombing that too. Oh, yeah. That was mad. Yeah,
that was a really, really fun shoot. Really fun film to work on as well. I think that one's more. It is a horror film, but I would say it's quite scientific as well, isn't it? And like action thrillery as well. It's kind of not just horror, which I really like about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of comedy with your character as well, Marcus. Very funny character.
Yes. Is he good or is he bad? Ooh. We will let the reader decide for themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a really good one to work on.
Yeah, which I have to say, after seeing Marcus, after seeing you in like 3 or 4 of these now, it's like this one, I was like, okay, where's Marcus? I know he's in this. I haven't seen him yet. And then you like pop out of the truck and it's like, oh, that's Marcus. Like, it's like, and then you start talking and you don't like sound like I've heard you sound in other movies. You don't look like I've seen you look in other movies. And it's just like, you just have like who's it? Dave Sheridan does this too. Like he changes his look a lot. He was Deputy Doofy in Scary Movie. Like it's a really cool quality if you're in a lot of movies like that to see, like to spot somebody and be like, oh, it's not them, or that's them.
I think because I was trained in the method, really what it is that when you draw on the emotions that you are familiar with and add that to the imagination that you have as well, and you bring to it. But also you sort of take on the whole picture. It's not a question of puppeting the lines and puppeting what your objective is in the scene. It's a real life. So when I'm playing Colt, I have to imagine Colt is a real person. And if Colt was to watch it, Colt would go, no. Colt doesn't do that. That's not the way Colt. No. Because you've got to remember that last week he got his hand trapped in something. So now he's a bit. So there's a whole good real life, and I've got to be happy that the real Colt will look at it and go, yeah, that's me. So so you've got to give the character the dignity of actually being a real person, because it is a real person when somebody's watching it. They don't want to watch somebody acting something. They want to believe that this is actually happening. So, and that, then it sort of then from your tip to your tail that you drink in the character.
Definitely, you've got to put all the character work into it, don't you? No matter how long you're on screen, no matter how many lines you've got, you're a person at the end of the day. You're not just, like I said before, you're not just one dimensional. You've got a lot going on and a lot to say.
And it's not giving anything away, because I've also read in some articles where actually there's some hilarious articles, which is the 16 the top 16 murders in Winnie the Pooh ranked.
I need to read that.
So, yes. It's ranked. So it's not giving away. So it's not giving anything away that us hillbillies, we've got various tools of destruction, like baseball bats and jimmies and sort of metal bars and all that kind of stuff. But I've got a blooming bottle of champagne. Okay, it's great. I've got that, and so if I've got a bottle of champagne, then obviously I've drunk it. So obviously I have to be drunk. And also, I'm not going to waste the champagne. So if I'm going to use it as a weapon, what I'm going to make sure I do is glug the last bit down first before I use it. Because I'm not an idiot. Obviously. I'm not going to pour it away.
Yeah, that was a very interesting scene. It was it kind of reminded me of what was it, the end of Halloween Kills, where the town is going after Michael Myers, and I expected I had expectations. I won't say what they are because it might give away things, but it did defy my expectations, because it was oh, they're gonna go like this, and then they didn't, and it was just it subverts the thought a little bit. I liked it.
But definitely. But as Maria was saying, we do touch on things that have to be there, and there was one of my it made me laugh. Because it was just about I won't spoil it, but one of the people who eventually gets killed, that's fine, because loads of people get killed. One of them is standing there doing something, and then I was thinking to myself, I know what's going to happen next. I know and then it happened. It was a line, and it's such a fantastic cliched line, and when you're just waiting for that moment and you're thinking, come on, give it to me, and then it happens, you go, now I feel better. Now I'm satisfied. I was just waiting for that, and it's happened. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I think you mentioned that earlier, Maria, about the the tropes in horror movies, and having some of them, you have to have them. It's like the creature comforts of the horror movie. I thought it was a really good thought. But I was going to ask about the this is blowing up. This is getting big. I just saw the CNN piece with Scott and Reese.
Yeah.
And it was my biggest takeaway from that was if you don't like it, don't go see it.
So true. It's made for the people that love horror. It's made for the people that loved Winnie the Pooh as a child and want to see Winnie the Pooh be a killer. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that love that and love that idea of it. But if it's not for you, definitely don't watch it.
I think it's for people who like the naughtiness of man, this is so naughty. I've got to have a bit of it. I've got to be naughty with them.
And I think the fact that it's so, in some ways, controversial is the reason that it's blown up so much and people are so interested in the film. like Marcus said before, Jagged Edge and that kind of production company, they've made so many films. Like, this isn't something they've done overnight. Like, they've been building this kind of indie, I want to say, empire, really, with the amount of films that they've made. And this, I just feel like they really deserve it. They really do deserve to get this kind of notoriety now, and hopefully it will bring bigger, better things for them as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, because I watched, or we watched for the podcast, we watched the Killing Tree, which I just thought the comedy and the goofiness of it was there, as well as you get the humanity, which I feel like you always get the humanity in these, so nothing really feels over the top. Because I feel like it's easy to what am I trying to say here? To like go horror comedy, but then not add in the humanity, and now everything feels slapsticky.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely, it's easy to do that. But I think they're really good at, in the writing, bringing things back down to reality as well, and making sure that people can kind of see themselves in characters as well. So it's not just completely outrageous. I mean, granted, we do some stupid things in the film. I've seen a lot of comments and people were like, why did you do that? You would never do that. And it's like, yeah, you're right. You never would, but we need to die, so it's gonna happen.
You're also never gonna run into a murderous bear on a rampage with a knife either.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully. So I feel like it matches.
And people do nutty things all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell do you do that for? Oh, I don't know. I just thought I had to do something. So that happens in real life, but when you see it on the screen, it's like, no, this makes no sense. Nobody would ever do that. What, people do things like that all the time for no reason.
Yeah, that's true. You don't know how you're going to react, do you, when you're in that position? Like, it's such an extreme situation to be in. You have no idea what you'll do.
But yeah, so kind of wrapping up here. Do you guys have, or do you both have anything else coming up that you would, or you're able to talk about?
I haven't seen. What's going to happen soon is Dinosaur Prison, of course, and I am looking forward to that. And yeah, that's yes. So yeah, because the seagulls were nesting. That was roughly April last year or something like that. We shot it, and it had quite a lot of post to do on it because, of course, they're dinosaurs. That's not giving anything away, is it? So,
it's in the title.
So the thing is that. But that will be coming soon, and I am personally mega excited about that. And of course, Maria is in that too. And yeah, we have a cracking time.
We do.
Interacting.
Honestly, that film was so fun. Like, on set, I was constantly laughing, and it was you, Marcus. You were actually hilarious. That I've never corpsed so much on set in my entire life. Like, it got to the point where, like, the director, the DOP, everyone was just like, we can't keep, like, no one could keep quiet. I'd hear, like, crew members giggling in the background of it, and I'd be like, I had to be serious. It was so hard. But yeah, he's incredible in that film. It was so funny. I feel like you really got to shine in that film as well, Marcus. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I hope so, but you never know. You have to see the results.
That's true. You never know what it's going to be like until it's been in the edit.
The character is an eccentric man, so there is that leeway. It's a bit like Willy Wonka. I mean, you can allow the leeway of the madness in the eyes because he is an eccentric man, which is obvious from the very first time you see him, when he walks in, then it's aha.
Definitely.
So you're meant to think, aha, here's an eccentric man. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yes, and yes, we had a cracking time. I think Maria is terrific in it. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It means a lot. It's a very different character for both of us, isn't it, than what we play in Winnie? I would say, honestly, like quite opposite. Mine is American, actually. She's got an American accent. She's from America. My character, Beth. So it's very different than Maria. So it's very exciting. Awesome.
Well, one thing we always ask, I mean, if you don't have any other projects to talk about, can kind of include that in if you wish. Do you have any like horror movies to recommend to us? Because we always like to add to our list.
Now that is a good question.
I feel like you've probably seen more horror movies than me, if I'm being honest. Even though I'm in them, like, I do like horror films, like I do watch them, but they're really, really gory ones. Like I'm such a wimp, honestly. I think I was fine watching this one because I knew what was coming because I was on set, so I saw it all beforehand. But yeah, I like a lot of supernatural horror films. I really like those kinds.
Okay.
So the film that I would recommend is actually a Serbian film, but it has English subtitles, obviously, and you will be able to get hold of it somewhere.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one somewhere.
And it's called Vampire. Vampire.
Oh, I thought you meant a Serbian film. Okay, never mind.
Oh no, the Serbian film. Oh yeah. I've got it. I watched the first bit of it. It gets that gets quite sticky.
Yeah, the vampire with a Y.
So I'm not. Yeah. I mean, it's if you can stomach it, that's something. But But I'm not. That's not what I'm saying here.
Okay.
It's called Vampire, and it is the story. Is this chap who he lives in London, he's from Serbia, but then he decides to go back to his parents' village in Serbia. And then things start happening.
I think there's... Oh, go on, sorry.
Yeah. And it draws on all sorts of traditional old tales of nastiness and supernaturalness and undeadness. So yes. So there's a horror.
Yes. Also, obviously these films aren't out yet, they're not even made, but you're probably aware, but Scott and Reese are looking to do Peter Pan at some point, also Bambi. I might be in Bambi. It's not completely set in stone yet, but we're in talks about it, so I might be making an appearance in that as well. So we shall see, which is exciting. But yeah, I think with those films as well, they are gonna, because they can, because of what's happened with this one, they can really put a lot into these next films and create a universe of people's childhood favorites gone rogue.
Of beloved characters romping around madly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. I mean, because I had heard a little bit about the Peter Pan one, and me and my co-hosts were kind of bouncing around theories about like what would it be about, like that kind of thing, like kind of like we were doing with Winnie the Pooh, because it's like your ultimate what if. And the Bambi one, that one's interesting. I was kind of thinking about that, like how would you do that?
Mm-hmm. Like, what path are they gonna go down? It's interesting. Yes. I have read some of the script as well, so I kind of know, but I can't say, obviously.
Okay, obviously, yeah.
It's good though. I really, really like the script, what I've seen so far.
Nice. Well, thank you both for being here, and we'd love to talk to you again when Dinosaur Prison or any of these other amazing movies come out.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. This has been really, really fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Thanks very much. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, of course, Marcus.
Yes. Brilliant.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. This podcast is available on all major podcast networks and YouTube. If you like what you're hearing, please follow, like, and subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.